Well, it's that time of year when people travel out of their provinces for a little bit of downtime, as Michael just said. Many leave their homes unattended and therefore susceptible to criminals. For some safety precautions, I'm joined by security expert Rory Steyn. Rory, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So criminals have obviously adapted during these COVID-19 times. What are you noticing in terms of the crime trends?
Well, good afternoon to everybody listening. The first thing I need to say is that we have seen this overall increase in crime generally, both during and post-COVID-19. That's well documented. And season is upon us, where you see in any event a spike in crime. But I think the point that I'd like to make is this, that you need to practice your own personal safety protocols wherever you are in South Africa. So the fact that you have perhaps locked up your home and left it either in the hands of your security company or perhaps a house sitter, that doesn't mean that when you're on holiday where you are supposed to relax, that you also relax those personal safety practices and protocols that keep you safe. So I think that needs to be stressed. We all know that the holiday destinations throughout our country, when especially upcountry people from Joburg and Pretoria come down there, as soon as that number plate is noticed in those areas, it's almost like it draws criminals like bees to honey. So the message is, don't drop your guard just because you're on holiday. Yes, you should relax on holiday, but you should not relax your personal safety protocols.
Yeah. So just in terms of keeping your home safe while you're away, we all know that alarm systems are generally there as an option, but how else do you check up if you have no one else in that house at the time?
Well, the first thing you need to do is test your alarm just to make sure that the battery, and the radio link that will summon your security company or an armed response service provider, that's all working. And then just common sense protocols like informing family, neighbors, and that sort of thing that you're going away. How do they access the property if the alarm keeps going off? Because you don't want to become that neighbor whose alarm is incessantly activating at 3 in the morning and nobody can get into your property. So all of those are common sense suggestions, but also just basics like making sure that your windows are closed, that your security doors are locked, that your alarm is in fact activated or not activated. And then just in terms of things like weather, like lightning, have you unplugged all of your important appliances and that sort of thing? If you do that, just make sure that you haven't unplugged the alarm system so that the battery runs flat in 2 or 3 days, and then you're sitting on holiday and unbeknownst to you, your home is not protected. But the most important thing is to protect is your own life and those of your family members. So your home and its contents are less important than the lives of your family. Hence, I say again, make sure that wherever you are, that you are practicing those things that you know keep you safe.
Yeah. And just before I let you go, you touched on this right now very briefly about when you go on holiday, people or criminals seeing a GP number plate at a coastal town, the possibility and likelihood of you being attacked while on holiday, that's also a reality in South Africa, isn't it? And how do you protect yourself if you're at an Airbnb, for instance?
That's a great question. So I would like to point out one thing, that you're not likely to be attacked personally when you arrive at a coastal town wearing with a Gauteng number plate. But what you are more likely to do is to attract those criminals that would seek to exploit the fact that you're on holiday. They know that you're going to let down your guard. They know that you're going to relax. So you're going to walk into an Airbnb or some other accommodation that you're not familiar with. It's not your own home. And you're going to leave your stuff lying around. You're going to put a cell phone down on the dining room table, and you probably not going to lock the door. So the very first thing I would do, and we're in an Airbnb right now in Hermanus as I speak to you, and what you've got to do is you've got to quickly become familiar with that home and its security measures. So how do you close the doors? How do you lock the windows? How do you set the alarm? And where are you going to put your belongings so that they're not going to be easily liberated by somebody who knows that place better than you do? So it's a matter of getting to know your surroundings. Ask the person, ask the host or the homeowner of the Airbnb for that kind of advice. And just make sure that you know how to keep yourself as secure when you're on holiday as you do when you're at home, because you are in unfamiliar territory.
All right, thank you for your time. Security expert Rory Steyn.